Hi, it's me, number 6, CASE-1, flight MH370. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 was en route from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia to Beijing, China. It carried 227 passengers and 12 crew members. That's 239 people in total. About an hour into the flight, the plane veered off its course without explanation. Air traffic control tried repeatedly to contact the pilot, but there was no answer. Shortly after takeoff, the plane had climbed to its cruising altitude of 35,000 feet, where it remained for several hours. Then it began a gradual descent. The last known position of the aircraft was somewhere over the southern Indian Ocean, but there were no signs of the missing plane or any of its passengers. The airline grounded all of their flights that day while they investigated what happened to the plane. The airline still hasn't figured out what happened to the plane, nor have authorities found the wreckage or any evidence about the fate of the people on board. This is one of the biggest mysteries in aviation history. It remains the longest mystery of an aviation disappearance. Number 5. Brandon Swanson. On April 14, 2009, Brandon Lawson Swanson left his home in Minnesota to go fishing. He told his family he'd be back around 5 p.m. that day, but he never showed up. At 10:30 p.m., his father reported him missing. Search teams were assembled and spent 2 days combing through the area with no results. After the second day, the search was called off, but Brandon's dad wasn't giving up. He kept thinking something wasn't right. The police had focused on the area close to Brandon's home because they assumed if he'd gone fishing and got himself into trouble, they would find some sign of it in the surrounding area. But Brandon's dad knew his son better than anyone. He knew Brandon loved to explore and that he likely hadn't gotten into trouble by accident. He drove all around the area looking for any sign of his son. His search led him to a small town more than 100 miles away from Brandon's house. There, he spotted Brandon's truck parked at a boat landing. When the police arrived on the scene, they found Brandon's wallet, his keys, his coat, and his cap nearby, but there was no sign of Brandon himself. And no one knows what happened to him. Was he kidnapped? Did he run away? Or did something happen to him out in the water? No one knows. Number 4. The Sauter Children. In December of 1948, 5 of the Sauter children vanished from their home in Fayetteville, West Virginia. Their parents awoke in the middle of the night to the sound of smoke coming from their home. They managed to get themselves out of the house along with 3 of their children. But when the fire was put out, 4 of the children were missing. An investigation into the blaze revealed that someone had tampered with the furnace to start the fire. This might have been done to cover up whatever happened to the kids. Their bodies were never found. But one strange detail stood out during the investigation. One of the surviving sons later recalled seeing a truck outside of the home around the time of the fire. And, according to the boy, there were men inside of it who appeared to be watching the house. But why? Did these men start the fire and then kidnap the children? Or were the children already dead when the fire started? Number 3. The Bennington Triangle. The Bennington Triangle is an area located in the southern part of Vermont. It's roughly 200 square miles, and in the early 1900s, a lot of strange things started happening in that area. People started disappearing with no explanation. In 1902, a man named Frederick Leonard vanished while hiking near the Appalachian Trail. A few years later, a hunter named James E. Tedmeyer disappeared while hunting in the woods. Then, in 1946, a group of 6 hikers vanished. All of this was happening in a very remote part of Vermont where hardly anyone went. So how could so many people just disappear? Theories about what happened to the people who disappeared in the Bennington Triangle range from them being kidnapped by a cult to them being lost in the woods and dying. But there is one theory that has stuck around longer than the others. Some people believe there's something paranormal going on in the woods of Vermont, that causing people to disappear. And if that's true, there may be something even more sinister lurking in the shadows. Number 2. Maura Murray. On February 9, 2004, 21-year-old Mara Murray crashed her car into a snowbank in Haverhill, New Hampshire. She called her brother and asked him to come pick her up because her car was disabled. She didn't stick around to wait for help to arrive. Instead, she hiked into the woods. She was wearing shorts, a t-shirt, and sneakers, not clothing suitable for hiking in the snowy New Hampshire wilderness. At first, the police thought this was a simple missing persons case. They figured Mara must have become disoriented in the snow and collapsed in the woods. But as the days turned into weeks, they realized something else was going on here. A few days after she disappeared, her abandoned car was found. A passerby spotted the vehicle and called the police. Inside the car, they found her purse, her cell phone, and her keys, but they didn't find any trace of Mara. Her backpack was missing. Police investigators don't know if she took it with her or if someone stole it. Another odd thing about the car was that it had recently been washed. If Mara had left the car after crashing it, why would she have waited so long to do so? And why would she have taken the time to wash the car? Investigators came to the conclusion that she had been washing the car in an effort to hide something. What could it be? Believe that she killed someone in the car and then panicked. Others think that she planned to leave her old life behind and start a new one. But we may never know for sure what happened to her. Thanks for watching. Which of these cases was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time. Bye.